Shabbat shalom to everyone. I have a conundrum. I have two things I want to speak about tonight, and I only have time for like half of one. So I'm really struggling here. Okay, I'm going to do something I wasn't planning on doing. Okay, so here's the deal. Tonight, many of you are here because you started our community conversion class, which I don't like calling a community class, our community learning class. There's no imperative for anyone to do anything. It's an opportunity to learn. And for those of you who aren't in the program or who aren't familiar with the program or have taken a program, it's 35 weeks of every Thursday night, some Hebrew at the beginning, and then rabbis offer lectures, classes. It's all done online. I wish it was done in person, but you know, COVID has changed everything, and everything's virtual at this point. So over 35 weeks, the students study. They study all kinds of stuff. They study biblical history, they study modern history, they study Jewish customs, they study the diversity among the various denominations in Judaism. They study everything. And I'm sure some of the classes are better than others. There is reading, and the goal of the program is that through study and connecting with a rabbi of a specific congregation who can sponsor them and take them to the end of the process, that they potentially might choose to become Jews. And again, I'm saying might because as we know in Judaism, the idea of coercion is so against anything that we possibly could believe. There's the idea that someone is always free to do whatever they want in Judaism. And in fact, the very beginning of our Torah portion for this Shabbat is about people making choices and the power of making a choice. And it's interesting that this is the Shabbat before Rosh Chodesh Elul, the beginning of the month before the high holidays. And the whole base of the high holidays is about people making choices. We believe in choice on so many different levels. The beautiful thing about the class, and I'm saying this to everyone, is that it's an exercise in what we believe is fundamental to being a Jew, and that is Torah study. And it's almost stating the obvious, Talmud Torah Keneged Kulam. In the Jewish tradition, Torah study is equal to all the other commandments because through the Torah, somehow it guides us, and ultimately, if we study enough, it's going to transform us. It's going to transform our behavior. It's going to transform our way of looking at the world. It's going to transform our politics. It's going to transform everything because the wisdom of 3,500-year tradition that's supposed to go through you obviously is going to change you. And when you look at the foundation of our community, of our congregation, you look at any congregation, you look at any denomination in American Judaism, you can cut all the other stuff out, but in reality is that the essence is somehow Talmud Torah Keneged Kulam. We study Torah because that's the most important thing we possibly can do. And when people say, oh, there's so many differences among Jews, or, all the denominations, all this, there's so little difference among the denominations because in reality, we agree about 90% of everything. We always focus in on the 10% we don't agree on, but let's cut that. Let's cut it. Every synagogue, every rabbi in America shares the same goal. Talmud Torah Keneged Kulam. You teach Torah. That's it. I'm about to retire. I've said enough. I'm leaving. If you remember that, I've succeeded. Seriously. There's not really much more I have to say here. But of course, I'm long-winded. Okay, so here's my problem. New Reform Temple was created in 1967. It was created by a lot of very thoughtful, intelligent, serious Jews who really loved Judaism. They loved their own brand of Judaism. They were they embraced a very liberal view of Judaism, and our prayer book is an example of that. But they embraced an idea of a Judaism that, again, was rooted in learning. And in fact, when you look at our mandate, I don't know what to call it, our charter, our founding document, there's a couple of things that are in it that are most relevant. Number one is we're supposed to create a religious school to teach kids. I wish they had said we should create a religious school to teach adults too, but that should be an addendum. And number two, which is so interesting, they wanted the congregation to celebrate confirmation. Now, not all of you know what confirmation is, and even people who've gone through confirmation don't know what confirmation is. So, I mean, you know what it's about because you've been there 3 million times. So I have here, I don't know where I got this. I don't think there's 3 copies of this in America, but I have one of the copies. It was written in 1957, and I just grabbed this on the way down. It was written by 2 very distinguished rabbis named David Polish, a very distinguished rabbi and scholar, and Frederick Dopelt, who I have no idea who this person is. No, I mean, and his name comes first, but who knows them? Okay, so here it is. So I turn in this, and I went, Glenn, you're head of Religious Service Committee. Could you get some copies of this? Go on the internet and go looking. Okay, so here's the deal. So I'm going to turn to page 64. And what's interesting is, number 4 is education of children. Number 6 is adult education. But I want to do page 64, confirmation. So this is what it says. It is a mitzvah, a commandment, to be confirmed in the faith of Israel in order to relive the experience of the covenant which God made with Israel at Sinai through the giving of the Torah. In other words, confirmation was supposed to be a way for students to affirm what the Israelites affirmed at Mount Sinai. It goes on to say, as our Torah states, neither will you only do I make this covenant in oath, but with him that standeth here with us this day before the Lord our God. We read that at the very end of the book of Deuteronomy. Basically, what God is saying is, or what Moses is saying to the people of Israel is, the covenant is not just made with the people standing there; it's made with all generations that become after that. There's a commitment from one generation to the next. But then it gives what's supposed to happen on confirmation. You want to know what's supposed to happen? Okay, I'm going to tell you what happens. Confirmation services should be held on Shavuot morning or evening. We can't do that because we wouldn't get a crowd, which is pretty sad. So we do it on Shabbat. But it should be done on the festival of Shavuot, which is a holiday for accepting the Torah on Mount Sinai. One should not be confirmed before the age of 15, except in unusual circumstances. Why are you laughing at that? I'll tell you when it's funny. That it wasn't funny. Okay, number 3. The mitzvah of confirmation should not be automatically conferred, but should be earned by fulfilling basic academic and religious requirements, such as the completion of a prescribed course of study, attendance at religious services, and an awareness of the spiritual meaning of the covenant. That's high. That's a high standard. Number 4. Now I'm going to skip number 4. Number 5. At the confirmations, because I don't want to get into controversy, on the confirmation service, the confirmands and their parents should lead the congregation in reciting the following blessing. Interesting blessing. It says, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher kidshanu b'mitzvot v'tzivanu lekabel et haTorah. They must have created that. Praise her. So it basically says God has commanded us to accept the Torah. And then it has some footnotes here where it says, in many congregations it's customary, I love this, to grant junior membership to confirmands. That's a good idea. Is that good? Whoever's on the board, make it happen. Okay, number B. In many congregations, a Shabbat preceding confirmation, a special service of dedication is held privately for confirmands and their families. Okay. C, the confirmation reception is only a matter of custom. In accordance with widespread practice, it should be a group reception following the services. In other words, it shouldn't be everyone going off and making celebrations for themselves. And then it says, families which hold private reception should avoid ostentation. No, I mean, that's a very big thing. Okay. So Glenn is going to get us multiple copies of this book, and we're going to pass them out. Now, so why am I raising this issue, and why is it on my mind? Okay. I got to be really careful what I'm about to say. It's just I have to say it. When this congregation first started, and you guys know about the New Reformed Temple, stuff that none of our members know. So keep it a secret to yourself. Just kidding. Okay, so here's the deal. Here's the deal. When our congregation started, I'm not going to go much longer. Congregation started, we didn't have bar mitzvah. We didn't have it. We didn't believe in it. We thought it was silly. A 13-year-old can't affirm anything. That's why it says 15 and older. It was a belief that someone has to be older to affirm the covenant. Okay? Over the years, because the sociology of the congregation has changed, what has happened? More bar mitzvah. People want it, for whatever reason. Fine. But here's the sheet I'm looking at, and this is what's driving me crazy, and I'm not going to be able to sleep this weekend, literally, and my wife, Jane, who is wonderfully patient with me, is going to have to endure this. That is, I'm looking at the list, and many of the kids who became bar mitzvah in this congregation do not go to, who became bar mitzvah are not going to confirmation. And this is a trend in American Jewish life. So I have to ask the question, and all of us do, and all of us in our congregation have to accept this. And all the adults in the Jewish community have to accept this. And I think we should not just say it's irrelevant, oh, it's modern time, Rabbi Lundy, lighten up, soccer is important, whatever it is. Here's the deal. The deal is, if a child in our congregation, or any of the congregations, I'm just speaking about ours, the other rabbis got the same problem. But I don't care. I got to work here. If a child goes through the bar mitzvah program and is motivated not to continue to confirmation, we have to ask a real question: what kind of Jewish education are we doing? I'm done. I can't solve this problem in 10 months. But, wouldn't you agree that that's a serious question to ask? We do better in confirmation than most of the community. But come on. Confirmation is really important as a child matures. And I have to tell you, those who have kids who've gone to confirmation or kids who've gone through it, it makes a difference. And if we can't promote it, or families don't support it, we really have to question, what is the educational goal of our congregation? That's how I feel. I'm done.